What's up, everybody? Welcome to Podcast Now. I'm Alex, and here we are again to talk about Scream, Scream 7, Scream, whatever you guys want to talk about. I thought, you know what? Yesterday was the Game Awards, and it was a lot of me talking about gaming for a very, very long time. So I wanted to do something a little bit different and go into another, obviously, thing I'm very much into, and we can kind of just catch up. Catch up in the sense there hasn't really been anything recently, but that doesn't mean we can't talk about stuff. I mean, there has been like videos and whatnot, but the state of Scream 7, when really anything else happens, like I'm still kind of waiting. That's where I'm at. I'm waiting for like the next shoe to drop. It could be a while until we get something. It could be next to no time at all. No. My wife was asking me about the grocery list. So yeah. So anything you guys want to talk about live, obviously, if you're watching afterwards, thank you for being here, whether it is live or afterwards. Leave a like, all of that jazz, and we'll get into it. Well, actually, one thing I do want to start out with. For those that were worried about Neve Campbell's career, I don't really think you needed to in the first place. But one thing that did happen at the Game Awards was actually Twisted Metal Season 2 happening. Now, if you're a Neve Campbell fan, you would know that she played a small role, but a pretty important role in Twisted Metal Season 1. So with Season 2 now happening, we're going to get her return. So that should be, and not only her return, she should be in Season 2 a whole lot more. And I'm kind of demanding that she's in Season 2 way more than she was in Season 1. So, again, if you were worried about what project she was going to be in or if she was going to be okay in the next couple of years, I don't really think you needed to in the first place, but she'll be in Twisted Metal. So yeah. You mean the Ghostface list? Oh my god. Oh, I did I watched we did the Game Awards live. So I watched it live. I was jamming to Herald of Darkness. Oh my dear Jesus. It was the greatest. I've listened to Herald of Darkness maybe 10 times in the last 24 hours. I've been addicted to that song. I still am addicted to that song. I'm so freaking glad they played. Let's get the old gods of Asgard or poets of the fall and let's get them in Scream. Let's do it because I think they deserve that. But no, yeah, the Game Awards was pretty okay. I loved that performance. I really did. What's going on? Yeah, I felt this would be kind of fun. I wanted to. I was still making videos, right? But before all that Scream 7 stuff happened with Melissa and Jenna, I kind of like fell off where I wasn't like doing all that much. So I thought, let's get a Scream live stream in rotation. Maybe like once a month we can do this just to like keep things active, talk to the community, kind of go back and forth. Because eventually we're gonna get more stuff, but like I said, at the very, very beginning of this, like that's the biggest question, right? And I've seen a lot of drama on Scream Twitter, the community on Twitter, which there's always drama. I felt like there was actually added drama the last couple days on it. And I think one of the things that was discussed is like the difference between rumors and then like what was real, right? So like the plot thing going around, was that real? Was that fake? And it's actually very important to try to figure that out or to have an opinion on it because it kind of defines everything. If that plot leak with, the two separate storylines coming together, it reveals the killers, all that jazz. If that was real, which it could be, but you don't know for sure, then the turnaround time to a new script for Scream 7, I think is actually extremely quick, right? If that was a lie, if the plot thing was absolutely not true, like it's tough because I think there was a script for 7. Like that's something that I also think people on the internet kind of forget. No matter what, if that plot leak was fake or real, there was a script for Scream 7. So like without that, uh, you know, or I guess what am I trying to say? My wife just last night just kind of threw me out. I don't know, like there was a script. So you almost have to just say, okay, well, was the plot leak thing real or not? But that doesn't even really matter. There was a script. And you could argue that Sydney would most likely be in it. So the turnaround time of getting a new script worked out, I don't really think it would take all that long. In fact, I would go a step further. Most of these Hollywood production things take like, if you're really sitting down and you're really doing it, 2-3 months maybe to do it, especially if you're rushing, especially if they want them to rush, could take no time at all to make something like a Scream 7 script. So I don't know. Hello, I am so bored. I like it. That's a great name. Uh, got a dip just popped in to say hi. No worries. Thank you for being here. If the leak is true, then I hope they would have at least secured. Yeah, and right, and that's the tough thing too, where it's like, um, I don't know. Like I want to believe that plot leak thing. But then it's like it's what I've said. I mentioned this in the I think I made like a Nev Campbell specific video. And one of the things I said in it was, well, if you're going to write half of the story, and this is why I just don't understand about Hollywood. Like this is why I don't get it. This is why I primarily stick to games because I just don't understand this. If you're going to do um if you're going to write a story and half of it is going to be one character, half of it is going to be the other character, and you don't have them locked in, then like why would you do that? You know what I mean? And I don't know, like that could be a very common thing. I was told by people, even dating back to like say Scream 3. There was like a script I think without Sydney at all. There was a script with Sydney. I don't understand. Like I in a way I get it, but also in a way I just don't understand why you would put yourself in that situation, right? I don't get it. It'd be like making a game, another game in the franchise with the character, and like you don't necessarily intend to use the character. And it's like, well, why would you spend all that time writing a script if you don't even have them? And you could have them in mind, you could be like talking to them, but if you don't have like the deal worked out, well, if something falls through, then like you just wrote the whole script and now you got nothing. So I really don't understand it. So Jenna won't do Scream anymore. No, sir. No, sir. Which is like every couple days, it's diminished. I got to be real. Life comes at you fast. Life moves fast. The more, that the weeks have gone on since all this stuff has happened, I think when I think about it, I still get mad and I still am worried about like the future of Scream. And I feel sad that, like if you watch 6, like Sam and Tara, like that's it. But, I'm into gaming and I'm doing all this different stuff, busy, busy, busy. And so, sometimes it doesn't hit me as hard. But yeah, when I honestly think about like that being the end of seeing Sam and Tara, like that makes me very sad and also very angry, very, very angry that they would do something so stupid. So yeah. So yeah. Rewatching Scream 6, as much as I love Scream, I feel it could have ended. I feel it could have ended everything. Yeah, I've been very not determined. I've been very like strong on my belief that the ending is not like a definitive ending. Now, I said that in a video, and there were a couple people saying like, no, like it's definitely an ending. And I agree to disagree. I respect that opinion as long as you respect mine. As I've said, the way I just come at it is like it is almost the true ending or a true ending that I could accept. Like, I understand that Sam drops the mask, and the last shot is like the mask, but like, they're walking away from it. So, like, I understand how you can frame that to say, like, she finally rid herself of it, but I don't buy it. Like, to me, that was another hint that the darkness was still in her because she took the mask from inside to outside, right? If she never did the mask, period, then I think it would have been and not necessarily like a stronger ending. Like the thing is, I actually really like the ending. I love the ending of Scream 6. Like that part. Not necessarily like Chad living and stuff, but that specific part of her pulling it out and it's like, holy dear God, like she kept it and she brought it outside. And then her dropping it because Tara snaps her out of it and then they walk away. That's fine. I actually really love that. But like making it the definitive ending for the Carpenter sisters, I am not in support. I get it to a degree because she does drop the mask, but the way I look at it is that was clearly a hint that like she still has that in her because she took the mask. If she never did it, then she would have maybe been rid of that, right? But she just got done butchering a guy and in Detective Bailey and like I just don't see it. I think that was still in her. And the fact that she took it outside was like, yep, she's still struggling with it. And she was once again pulled out by Tara. Like she didn't do it. If you think about it, she didn't do it herself at all. And I don't mind that. but she didn't do it herself at all throughout the entire movie. Every time that Sam would kind of like go kind of out of it, Tara was always the one to snap her out of it, not herself. And I'm a big believer, even like the Spider-Man game, like they need to do it eventually. They would need to do it themselves to fully kind of overcome that character arc, right? So that's where I'm at. That's where I'm at. Okay. Christina being in the movie would make no sense without Sam and Tara. Agreed. Yeah, I'm with you. I don't think that's a smart move. You absolutely can't do that. And I've talked about even Mindy and Chad. I find I struggle like to even like I like them. I definitely like Chad more than Mindy, but like would it be cool to see them in it? Yes, but like I'd like to see those characters return. But at the same time it's like no, because the way I look at it, if I see Chad or Mindy or both, right? I would just kind of get mad. It'd be like, oh, you're like a relic. Not even their own fault. It's not their fault, but they're like a relic of an era that was murdered. Like, Sam and Tara wouldn't die, but like the way they treated those two, and then you see these other two characters in the movie, it's like, oh yeah, you remind me. And that's actually the thing. That's the thing that I think maybe upsets me. They would remind me of the real life drama. And we've talked about it. Like I love escapism. That's why I do this stuff, because I do like to escape the everyday world. I don't even know it's made for me, but I like to escape it. So when I go into Scream, I don't want to be, and I think I've always done it pretty well, at least for Scream. I look at them as their characters. I look at Sam as Sam, Tara as Tara, not Jenna Ortega as Tara, not Neve Campbell, Sydney, right? So like I don't want to be reminded that these two were fired or driven out because of the other, what happened to the other one. So yeah, I don't want that. So it's tough because then I'm like kind of debating. I don't actually think you need those two. I think that would actually maybe even hurt overall. I think you kind of just let them go, which is also sad. Which is why, actually, I'll say, which is why you should have just killed Chad and Mindy, but specifically Chad, you were so close again. So you probably like maybe that would have been fine, to do that. Looking back at it. Okay, let's see. I forgot that I'm on StreamYard, so I can like click your comments. So I apologize. That's on me. I'll start doing that. It won't happen since he and his company are co-producers, and he chose himself to be the writer. James Vanderbilt definitely needs to go. The guy cannot write. Yeah. And that's the tough thing, man. That's the tough thing. Yeah, there's no way, right? Like you're not kicking him out. He's in it. He is in it till the end. If Neve doesn't return, maybe a Gale and yeah, and I mean, I've seen that, and I think I've seen your pitch for that too, Scott. I don't hate it. I don't hate it. I will say this though. I do not think that would be a movie. I don't know. Like, I just really don't know if that would hold up. I guess that would really go into the question of like what brings people to a Scream movie nowadays, right? Is it the young talent? Is it the legacy cast? Is it the lead of the legacy cast? I guess in a way, and I don't mean to do this, like I'm almost diminishing Courtney Cox, which is odd because obviously in the 90s, right, with the originals, she was easily the biggest of the three. Now, I don't necessarily think Neve Campbell's bigger than her. I think it's all kind of just not important. As I've said, I'm valuing actors' influence on getting people to seats. And I just think she's so much older and she's so much more removed, I think, from like pop culture that made her big. I really I don't know. Like I'm genuinely serious. I don't know. I think it would be interesting to do it because you can kind of see again like what brings people to like if you have Ghostface, but then you have like a buddy cop thing and you have some newer characters, but it doesn't really matter, and you don't even have Sydney, then it's like but you still have Ghostface. You still have the phone calls, the chases, the deaths. Does it do the exact same in the box office? In which case, that would be insane. Insane in an interesting way because it's like, oh, so nothing matters. Like none of it actually matters. So yeah. Yeah, this is just I might do I gotta see, but I might do another live stream, but maybe on Podcast Now Plus. Maybe after this one. So yeah. Well, I'm gonna make some gaming videos, and I have like 15 written down. I'm not gonna do all 15, but I might do a gaming something after this. We'll see. We'll see. We're gonna go for about an hour here, and then I'll text my wife, try to convince her to let me do a second live stream, and then and then maybe do a second live stream. Um, ooh, may AI referencing I think they kind of have to do AI, right? Like AI's got to be part of the next thing. Christina Carpenter unfortunately did not materialize as people hope for. That's true. Can we do a poll for Scream 6 event? Sure. Let's do a poll. Let's do a poll. I always forget that I can do polls. Okay. Let me engage with I'm going to engage with my audience. While I'm doing this, if you guys like this stuff, make sure you leave a like in any way. Okay. Was Scream 6's ending how should I word it? Like true conclusion for Sam and Tara. I think that's a good question, right? And simply yes or no. Yeah. Okay. We're going to do it. You guys vote. You guys let me know. So you can't do that on StreamYard, which is actually kind of odd. I know you're talking about Scream, but did you see the update? The abandon? Oh my God, no, I didn't. Well, let me write it down. I'll check that out. Thank you for letting me know. Maybe I'll do maybe a video, or like I said, maybe we'll do a gaming live stream after this. Oh my God, abandoned. And you know what? I actually think I deleted it from the PlayStation Store because I just had enough of it, and so I think I uninstalled it finally because it's like, what's the freaking point, you know? Oh, but thank you. Honestly, thank you for letting me know. I'll check that out as soon as I'm done here. Okay. I remember having fun theorizing that 3 of the 4 of the three-fourths of the core 4 would die in 6. In the trailer, shot of Sam looking in the mask was the final shot of the movie, and she was oh my God, yes. Well, I remember I called that. Like I wasn't the only one who called it, but I think the day the trailer went live, we collectively, some of us, said that shot was the ending. And we used her clothing, remember? We were like, well, she's got a cut on her arm, and she doesn't have a cut on her arm in this scene, but she does have a cut in her arm on this scene, and here's where she's wearing the tank top versus whatever. Like, I remember doing that day. So we did, like, and I still praise the trailer because I think overall, compared to 5 was just a dumpster fire of mistakes in that trailer. I think they did so much better this time. But you could tell that was the last scene in the entire movie. So, what world premiere of the Game Awards? Either Hideo Kojima's game or Jurassic Park. Those two. I honestly think that they should either bring in legacy characters and maybe characters from the TV show. Oh my God, that'd be cool. And maybe in 5 or so years, we get one last Scream with the Carpenter sisters. Yeah, buy time, right? I mean, we talked about that. Maybe, I did see, and oh man, I wish I could give them credit. I don't remember who it was. There's definitely somebody who said actually multiple times in a couple different comments, maybe they could do Scream 7 that is literally parallel with Scream 6. So you literally tell a Sydney story that's happening at the same time as Scream 6. And I like that idea. But here's the thing. Ultimately, you would just be buying time, right? And I will say I think there's no shot that you can do that, right? Because it's like if you do that, you have to like run that through people. You know what I mean? Like executives have to sign off on that one. And I just can't imagine an executive saying, well, after what I just did to Melissa Barrera, yeah, I can clearly tell you're like buying time to then try to get her back in like 3 to 4 years. And we're not doing that. So, you know what I mean? It comes across like you're trying to like just make up a few years and then maybe try to convince them to let her back. So yeah, I don't know. I was rewatching Scream 5 and 6 the other day. Nice. And while they're still good movies, now that we know they aren't returning, it's just like, what was the point? It means nothing now, even Dewey dying. Yeah, no, that's a great point. That's a fantastic. I'm actually I watched Scream 6 for the 6 month after, so September, middle of September. I watched Scream 6 and I still love it. I still love that movie. And I 5 I really have not 5 I've only seen 3 times. I saw it twice in theaters. Did I even see it twice in theaters? Maybe only once. I watched it a couple times at home. I haven't seen Scream 5 all that much. And ever since this news, yeah, 5 and 5 to me is, I don't know. I feel right now 5 is the least rewatchable of all of them. Because I like 3 more every time I watch it. I think 3 has the worst parts in any Scream movie, but it also has some of the best parts. So like Scream 3 is such like a weird trip, but 5 I think as time has gone on has been like one that I don't need to kind of see over and over. And yeah, especially if we don't finish this freaking Carpenter story, which we're not, then it's like, yeah, did you even need to do 5 or 6? No. No, you didn't. You did not. To be fair though, you could replace them like in the moment, you know what I mean? Like using it as an excuse is tough because like you still could have done it with other characters. Um I don't think I'm explaining that right. I can see it in my head what I'm trying to say. I agree specifically about yeah, the Dewey thing. The Dewey thing's rough. Did anybody else like when so like I'll tell you a story. You can tell me if this happened to you. I doubt it. So like leading into Scream 5, obviously, so many freaking videos and I was at the top of my game, Scream wise. And speculation and we knew Dewey was gonna die. Actually, we didn't know, no. There was nothing leaked, but we heavily, like assumed, right? So like we go into the movie and my wife's not a Scream fan, right? She'll tolerate it. She has gone to see 5 and 6 with me, and she actually likes 6. She likes 6 quite a bit. I don't think she likes it as much anymore just because she kind of like goes with the wind, but she liked it at the time, okay? So, but she's tolerated all of them and, decently fine. She likes Sydney as a character, etc. So we go to see Scream 5, and she really likes Dewey. And as soon as they walk to the freaking elevator, and then Dewey, backs off and says, "Oh wait, I gotta shoot him in the head." And doesn't somebody say, does Richie say like, "Who cares?" And he says like, "I do." As soon as he said that, and the door's shut, and he turns around, or maybe it was even when they were going to the hospital. I remember my wife leaning over to me and saying, "Bye, Dewey," and it was just like, yeah, like they're doing it. You know what I mean? Like you just know it's gonna happen. I think she may have said it when he turned around because it's like you just know. You know what I mean? And I don't know. Thinking about it now, like I'm actually imagining the scene. I'm imagining him turning around, pulling, the gun, loading in the shots, and it's like that's an odd choice for a scene in the middle of the movie because like what else could have happened there? You know what I mean? If he actually killed one of the two ghost faces, then like how do you continue the movie at that point? Like there's only one left, and you know what I mean? There's only one left, and you will see who the first one was. So then you could probably start to figure out who the second one was. You'd be able to see them so much easier. You'd be able to like kind of guess easier. So it's like, what else could have happened in that scene, versus him dying? I just remember my wife leaning over and saying, "Bye, Dewey." And I think I just made like a blank stare. And I just watched. And I watched him get freaking slaughtered. And I think I went like this at some point. Like I don't know. My jaw actually kind of dropped though with Gail because I actually thought they killed her. I thought they did it. And I was like seconds away from tearing up. I didn't tear up, but I was seconds away and I was like that. That was probably my expression looking at the theater is I was like, how could they do this? How? Why? Who, what, when, where, why? Oh wait. I skipped this. Sorry. It like StreamYard is like transparently getting rid of some of the comments. Like you can't see through it. I say we ditch the movies for a while, let them clean up the react, and make a real season 3 of the TV show. Yes. Well, my thoughts on what is it? What was it? No. Who got the third one? Is it MTV or did MTV have the first 2? Who did the third season? Whatever that stupid thing. Keke Palmer's a good actress, but holy God, that third season was atrocious. I hated it. They killed Dewey, and then they were too scared to kill off any of their own 4 main characters. Yep. That is almost the most insulting part of the entire thing, right? I think that is the most insulting, where they almost like overinflate. Like, people do care about Sam and Tara, and I think there is like a love for Chad, but like for them to say, well, we killed off Dewey in 5, and people have like PTSD now, so we can't do it again, right? Like, we have to leave them. No, you should leave Kirby and Gale alone. Like, people, I think, have PTSD with the legacy characters because of 5 going into 6, right? So going into 6, I think we were all somewhat concerned that they would do it twice with legacy and just keep killing them off. And it's like, so yeah, they were half right. People were kind of like, they almost had too much, like where you had to give them a break, but you had to give them a break with the older cast, not the newer cast. You could have gotten rid of at least one of the 4. And it would have still been impactful. It just wouldn't have given people PTSD. You know what I mean? It would have been okay. It would have been okay. Hang out, my friend. I reckon there's only 3 actors that can save Scream 7: Neve Campbell, Patrick Dempsey, and Matthew Lillard if Stu does return. Yeah, no, I think, as I said in the video with Neve, I think a Neve Campbell, a Sydney story movie, I think would work. I do. I believe that. You have to change some stuff. You definitely have to change some stuff from, well, if the plot thing was even real, because, if you say it could be real, you get attacked online and all that. I don't get attacked online, but I don't get attacked online Scream wise. I feel like other people in the Scream community are almost afraid to like go at me because I don't tolerate, I don't tolerate BS. But in the gaming stuff, I get slammed sometimes, from people that just don't listen to what I say and assume that I say certain things that I don't. So I haven't heard much from Scream News in the past week. Is it still in motion? It's a full reboot. Yeah, no, I said that in the beginning of the stream, where it's like, technically we're in like a waiting period. I wanted to do this stream just to like, interact with the Scream community. It's been a little while, like 2 weeks, but yeah, there's really nothing. There's been nothing. So we're kind of waiting for the other shoe to drop, and I think it's gonna happen. I think it's gonna happen like eventually. I really do. I really do. Does Scary Movie count as a Scream? No, it doesn't. I would not count it. I wouldn't say it. I've been researching and watching Scream 5 2 years now, and I still do believe that the killer that did kill Dewey in the hospital was Stu and not Amber. When the killer says yes today, it's an honor. It's Stu. I love that line. I gotta say, that's a great line. Yes today, it's an honor. Yeah, no, I freaking love that line. No, it was definitely it was Amber. It was. You could always retroactively change it. So yeah, if they wanted to bring Stu back, I'm not on the Stu train. I gotta be real. You guys know that. You could. I mean, you can change things retroactively, but like Amber does take credit for that kill later. Later in the movie, she literally rubs it in Gale's face. So it's like clearly, clearly she did it. I understand the size thing. I understand the strength thing. I think it makes no sense, but like they went hard into it. Doesn't matter. It doesn't matter how strong, doesn't matter how tall these people are. They'll change, from one scene to the next. And it's tragic, but but it is what it is. If Vanderbilt, who won't allow him to step down as writer, then they should at least bring in Kevin Williamson to co-write. Yeah. I really would love to be a fly on the wall, because don't forget, like, Kevin Williamson said he loved 5 and 6. Like, he was part of it to a degree. He watched it. He said very good things about both those movies. So I really like 6. Okay. So again, as I keep saying, but like, if you hate those movies, well, it's like, well, he said he really liked them. You know what I mean? So, and I'm not saying that in any other way than to just say, again, like, I'd like to almost be a fly on the wall to like just kind of see what those meetings are like. Where does he read the script, and do they like ask him questions? Does he ask them questions, or does he kind of like nod and say, yep, like this is pretty okay? You know what I mean? I don't know. I really don't know. 7 being a sequel to 4 is really making its rounds around YouTube. Yeah, no, yeah. I think it'd be okay. I think I'd be okay with suspending disbelief for that. Yeah. I think that's I mean, maybe that was a commenter for Steven of Craven Something Scary, but Steven has certainly said that a lot. And I think it's like a YouTuber kind of theory thing, right? Where it's like somebody introduced it to one of us and we kind of just ran with it and we said, you know what? Like, let's do it. And again, like there is no way. That's like the sad thing. I actually think that would be rad. And I think that would be rad is another way of saying really cool. So I don't want to repeat the same thing twice, but I think it'd be extremely cool. Okay. If you did something like that, I think that'd be kind of awesome. And just so different, like so different in a cool way. But again, like there's absolutely no chance. There's no chance that they would sign off on something like that. You know what I mean? I doubt it. I doubt it. If Vanderbilt's ego will allow him to step down as a right, yeah, yeah, yeah. But it's not happening. VH1. Is that what it was? So it was MTV Scream season 1 and 2 and then VH1. I mean, it was just so bad. Like I actually did this maybe like leading into Halloween. I'll sometimes listen to like compilations of Roger's dialogue. So, which is weird, but I do it anyway. So, every so often it's like a 20-minute, it's like a video. Somebody uploaded it to YouTube and it's literally just all of the Ghostface lines from season 3. And I'll just listen to it sometimes because it's like he nails it. Like he does a great job, but it's just not impactful. These characters, I only remember Jay because he says it in hello Jay or something. Like I remember that name, but it's like none of the other people, I don't remember any of their names right now. I don't remember their names. I don't care actually either to remember their names. So I do think if we were going back to Sydney's character, we need to do something different in the movie. It can't just be a rehash of 1 through 4. Just don't know what they could do. Yeah. Wrap it up, right? You probably have not that I need them to, but maybe they would think they need to like legitimately wrap it up. Maybe jump to their kids being teenagers and spin off with would you do a time doing a time jump? Doing a time jump is risky, right? Like it would also be a cool move because you keep obviously they're the same age, you keep them looking the same, but you up her kids, but then it's like, oh man, so are we talking 10 years after Scream 5? So like are Sam and Tara okay? You know what I mean? Did things die down in their lives and they're fine, but then maybe that would be, because then you have to wonder like, well, did everything truly settle in their lives where it's fine. No, I loved, like I just said, no, I hated season 3. I think it was garbage. I think I really didn't like it. um but everybody's opinion is valid. I think, I mean, obviously getting the mask back was cool and Roger was awesome. But those are the only 2 good things about season 3. To me, there's nothing else that's good about them, like at all. So, Spyglass needs to sell the rights and we need our core 4 and the OG 2 back. Agreed. I agree. That's a good profile picture, by the way. Did you get a picture at a convention with a Ghostface? That's neat. Good picture. You know how is Spider-Man? No, why? Oh, possible return. I don't know. I don't know how I'm supposed to read that. I think you left out a couple important words to connect the sentences, but I don't know what Tobey Maguire. I love Toby. I love Toby. I have faith in Chris Landon. Yeah, I do too. I do too. For Wes Hicks. Oh my, and it's that's Dylan, right? In your profile picture. Oh, no, I still hate that decision. I I like the 4 West thing. I think that was really cool. I think you can watch that back in 20 years and still think it's cool. Literally saluting base, you know what I mean? Wes. So you don't like the odds of that being something that would work in a movie are very low. The fact that they pulled that off is spectacular. The fact that they introduced a character that was actually kind of cool, that they almost retroactively added to Judy, because it's like she would have had a kid in 4, but she didn't. So you gave her a kid, which I guess now she does have a kid at home in 4, and we just didn't know. You give her a kid. She's a cool character. You kill them off very quickly, and you do it, and you name him Wes just to honor Wes, which I get it, but I also don't. And I don't know. I don't know. And also, I find the logic of like the lore a little bit suspect there, where it's like, okay, so they put, and I think, I mean, we've said this maybe like 10 different times. They threw a party for Wes Hicks in like less than 24 hours. Um, in fact, yes, no, he died around midday of one day. That night, Dewey died. The next day came, Sydney comes, and then that night was the party. So in a day and a half, 1.5 days, they organized an entire funeral for, but they didn't do it for anybody else because screw them. You know what I mean? It only matters about Wes. So wow. Wow, wow, wow. Okay. Yes, I first heard the sequel to, yeah. Yeah, I think, and I think I was on that live stream, right? I'm pretty sure. Yeah, it was. So we'll give her a name, Sarah. Sarah deserves the credit then. Yeah, I remember him getting asked, and he kind of like adopted it, and then ever since then, there you go. You know, people keep saying that since Sam and Tara aren't returning, that 5 and 6 and Dewey's death were pointless. They add to the story and were a good time. Don't be sad it's over. Smile because it happened. You know what? I like that. I honestly, I know I laugh. I actually really like that ending to that comment there. That's good. Don't be sad it's over. Smile because it happened. You know what? That's a great point. I will say this, right? It's almost like, what am I trying to say? 5 and 6 were so special. Like, at least to me, they were special. And like, I get, the quality thing, and you could argue like they should have stopped at 4. Maybe you would argue they should have stopped at 3, right? And I get all that. But like the movement and like seeing the Scream fandom, like what it did, like, yeah, it made me like, I got popular on YouTube in a degree because of it. So like it helped the business, you know what I mean? Like, the videos made me money. I got subscribers like that. So it's like, would I ever want to, take that away? Well, not necessarily, but in like, for like a human perspective, like I'm not kidding. And I think I showed this throughout years of this. This was a blast. You know what I mean? I love when Scream movies come out. There's nothing like it. Ultimately, like, it's just so much fun to speculate and do the live streams and break down the trailers and speculate over and over. Like, it's just, and you couldn't do this ever before, like, you couldn't do this on YouTube for Scream 4. There was nothing there like that. And then there was no YouTube for Scream 1 through 3. So like, would I ever take it back? No, ultimately I actually wouldn't. You know what I mean? I do think as an experience that the fandom got to live, whether they were disappointed or not, the experience that we got to go through is something you'll never be able to say you did in any other franchise or any other way. Like, it's just kind of special. So that's a great point, and I hope I added to your point. I want Stu back was 100%. There you go. And see, I think that's a good compromise. I think you can want Stu. I think you can make an argument, but I think you have to say that Amber was the one who killed Dewey. I think you have to say that. Is there actually a chance the Spyglass would realize the error of their ways and rehire Melissa, kind of like how Disney did with James Gunn? Good point. So that's a great point. And what I would I wish there was more of those in Hollywood, like fast turnaround. Turnarounds, because the issue that I'm gonna say at some point. No, the Guardians thing. The problem is it took so long. Now you can't make Guardians without James Gunn, right? So they literally couldn't do anything. You had to just sit there. And the cast had his back like nobody's business. Now, it really doesn't seem like the cast, at least as openly with James Gunn, it doesn't seem like the cast has Melissa's back like loudly online. Now, the issue is half the cast is like a different generation, right? Like Neve does not use social media. You know what I mean? She has like the Instagram, but she rarely uses it. It's more of promotional stuff. So Like, you're not going to have Neve Campbell issuing a statement. You're not even going to have Courtney Cox doing it. Or like they will not do that. You might have somebody like Jasmine or Mason. Maybe they can like stand for her on Twitter and Instagram, right? And like issue a statement. But it's like I just don't think you're going to see it. So number one, I don't think she's got the support and from the big names. Like when you have Chris Pratt and Dave Bautista and Zoe, like all these people, right? When you have all of them backing you, that's huge. To be fair, there's nobody in the Scream cast as big as almost anyone in Guardians. You know what I mean? So like you don't have that, which that would like scare the executives, right? They don't need to be scared right now. So that's one. And number two, like I said, it took so long. And you can't do Guardians without James Gunn, so they had to wait. For this, you can do Scream without Jenna and Melissa. You can. You know what I mean? It's just it's not a good look. But you don't have to wait. They're not in the same situation, right? They don't have to say, well, dang it. Well, we'll drag our feet and we're not going to do another Scream movie for 3-4 years anyway. So maybe as we get closer, then we can kind of get them back. We'll apologize and all be fine. Well, they want this thing out fast. You know what I mean? So they're not going to wait. They don't have time to wait. So that's kind of the issue. You know what? It should be canon. And maybe it will be. But I don't think they've said. If they do say, I will definitely comment on that. I want the flow of Scream and Scream 2 again. They were paced and edited perfectly. Yeah. Like I think there were parts of Scream 3 that were edited perfectly as well, but not all of it. Definitely not all of it. I agree. Scream season 3. I was gonna say that. Okay. Also, in fairness, while Roger crushes it in season 3, I do think the Ghostface lines are pretty weak. They are pretty weak. Did you see Beyond the Mask making I did. And do you like this or now? Yeah, okay. So to be real and to be, open and honest, I pride myself on that. Like we talk Beyond the Mask and I we're friends online and we go back and forth and we talk about all sorts of things. But would I prefer his books versus a third season? No. Even though he's a friend, I would very much prefer like but we're not getting that. And we will never get that. So like this is the next best thing, like write a book and tell the story. And then you know what? Now also be honest, right? Like I think he's talented and I think he can do a good job and he probably will. But like if you don't like the story that he writes for the ending, you don't have to. You know what I mean? Like you can adopt it into the lore as much or as little as you want. So like if you love it, there's your proper conclusion for the show. If you hate it, it never existed. You know what I mean? And that's how I would like approach it. And also, I guess keeping in mind, remember like a year and a half ago, they outlined what a season 3 and what a season 4 would have been. And they went over it, literally what would have happened. So you kind of do know. And I wonder if he's going to use that. I don't know. He doesn't talk to me about that stuff. But I wonder. Yeah, I would like to. Yes. That's actually one of the things that bugs me the most about 5 is that they didn't use the actual house. That was a mistake. Oh, you have a Ghostface mannequin. That's even cooler because you can like you own it. You have it as a property. I think that's better, to be honest with you. They always speak positively about the movies around the time of release. Then 10 years later, we get a documentary about how miserable they were. So yeah, that's true. No, yeah, and I'm very tough on Hollywood. Look, like I overwhelmingly hate them. Not this group. This group I think is like more of like more average Joes. Like Neve Campbell comes off like an actual person versus most of Hollywood, which they've sold their souls long ago. So like I respect these people generally more than most of Hollywood, but they all play like a very specific role in a very specific game. And if you step out of line, if you say the wrong thing, if you support something that others don't support or whatever, like you have to play along when you're in that cult. Hollywood is literally a cult, okay? So yeah, that's like another example of it where they just say what they need to say and they probably don't mean 80% of the things they say. maybe more. So yeah, like Kevin saying he loves it could very well mean absolutely nothing because yeah, you have to say it. And 10 years from now, you probably don't have to say it, and then you'll get his real thoughts. But like right now, you're gonna get an edited version, and it's up to us to like see. I guess it's up to us to like figure out if we believe them or not. So I don't know what StreamYard is. Steven pitched me StreamYard, by the way. No, overwhelmingly StreamYard is awesome, and I wouldn't have known without Steven. Let Scream 7 be the movie that wraps up the Scream the TV. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. I want to rewatch seasons 1 and 2. I've been thinking about it for the last like 2-3 months. I have no time, literally no time, and I'm not going to have time till July. So, maybe next summer I will do a rewatch, or like going into next fall, I'll do a rewatch of, and we'll do like a re-review or something, but I like them quite a bit, to be honest. So, if they can't get Sid, I wouldn't mind yeah. No, I'd be down for it. I think a TV show, like make that a TV show. That'd be pretty sweet. Like do it. Oh, I see. I see. Possible. Possible. But you need Sydney back before you do a Stu thing. Killing Judy off was a mistake since they killed Dewey. They should have at least kept another OG. Well, again, like, but looking back at it, it was like I kind of respect them. Not like at the time, it was like, okay, you're going for it. Like you're killing off. You have to introduce new people. Now, should you have killed Chad in 5? Well, it certainly seemed like you were going to, but okay, you don't do it. All right. Well, you got 4 of them. You got 4 new people. They're your creations. That's fine. They're targets. They'll eventually die. Some of them will eventually die. You got to kill off characters to make it impactful. All right, you kill off 2. 1 very impactful, 1 somewhat impactful in Judy, right? So then you go into 6, and it's like, okay, they mean business. And then they do absolutely nothing. And they ruin, their reputation in that sense. So. Can we start that? Hey. Well, that's, I guess, one of the main weaknesses of it is, did it need to be called Scream? No, because the only, the structure was Scream, and the call, but like, again, the calls, the mask, the final girl, the connection to family, like all that stuff was Scream, but you didn't have to call it Scream. You could have called it anything. So that's fair. That's fair. Scream 6 was, yeah, my heart in 5, like when the opening happens and it shows Tara's house, and then you get like the phone call and she answers. And I'll never forget, I will truly never forget this. I was shaking like this. Like I was legitimately shaking in my seat. So my arms were like on the armrest. So it'd be like that. I was like shaking of excitement. I wasn't, worried. Like because I had and I said this, like I saw Scream 1 when they did the, I think, 25-year anniversary, which was right before Scream 5, right? It was that October or something. Maybe a little bit late. Maybe it was December. I don't remember. It was right before. That was the first time I've ever seen a Scream movie in theaters. I never saw 4 in theaters because I wasn't a big fan at the time, and I was probably, I wasn't that young. I would have been 14 or 15, so I probably could have seen it, but I'm not into horrors. I mean, I've said that to you guys before, right? Like I don't watch horror movies. So Scream 5 was the first time I had ever seen a new Scream movie in theaters, day 1, like here we go. And like I had a blast. And then, then you can analyze it and say, "Oh, I didn't like this, I didn't like that." But in the moment, it was like the time of my life. Like I was on a ride, and it was awesome. And then 6 was, I wasn't shaking as much. I was like, okay, we're back in business. You know what I mean? Like, let's do this again. I was a little bit more focused, and but I still had a blast. I was still like that day leading into it. All I could think about was that movie. Leaving, again, like my wife, who's not really into them, but she either fakes it for that day for me, or she actually was a little interested at least that day. Like we talked about Scream 6 and theories and like, oh, did you see that? Oh, who was the killer in that scene? We talked about that for like 3 hours after the movie of 6. Like, we went home and we just talked. I was doing videos. She would listen to what I was saying, and we would just talk. And it's like, again, like, that's such a special to me that I'll never forget that ever. I'll never forget that. And so yeah, I had a blast with them, and I think I'd have a blast with 7 too. The one thing I would hate about a direct sequel to 4, the retcons the others, is that Scream has done a one. Yes, yes, that's true. That's true. You'd have to walk a very fine line. So in Scream 1, they threw a party the same day they celebrated the school letting out because of the Sydney. Yeah, that's true. All right. All right. That's fair. But that one's like, they're not celebrating a death, and they also kind of seem like twisted freaking kids in general in that movie. But they're not celebrating a death; they're celebrating Sydney getting attacked, and then the school's closed, and they're like, "Let's party it up." In this one, it's not like the worst thing they did in 5. It's just one of the things that I will pick on a little. Yeah, you'd have to have the greatest apology, right? Like, you'd have to have the best, some script writer to write you the best apology. Oh yeah, a white Ghostface robe. As I was praying for the freaking winter thing, because I wanted a white robe. So that sucks. But somebody could make that. Say what you want about Blumhouse, Jason Blum, but he would never disrespect his actors like this. That's true. That's true. I hear he might. I don't like follow. I've seen some reception to some Blumhouse movies, and I think people would maybe argue that he doesn't, respect the franchise all that much, but acting wise, yeah, he would never. He would never. Okay, what's more likely? They recast the entire core. Oh man, no, no, no. You cannot recast Sydney. Like, there's absolutely no way. You know what I mean? Um, so I think it's more likely they do a reboot before they recast. But you asked, yours was 3 different things. I think they scrap it and give Sydney her own TV series. Oh, yeah. A Sydney TV series would rock. That would rock. Scream Australia? Oh, man. You could have, like snakes. You could have spiders and all sorts of stuff. Oh, I've almost caught up. Good. No worries, Grace. I kind of think, yes, the anthology. I like that idea. You'd even do like a TV show, like almost like what's it called? American Horror Story? Is that what it's called? You could do like that, but for Scream. Kept Judy's death for 6. Yeah, it would have like really changed, but she would have had to follow them, and yeah, it would have been a little odd. Yeah, without attachment. When I saw Tara had an inhaler in opening 5, I thought, oh my MG, this is gonna be so cool how they use this, and then all they did was a cheap plot device to get her back to the party. Yeah, that's fair. Yeah, they just used it. To get. I mean, it was a smart move, like hiding her inhaler, and then you had to go back to Amber's house. Like, I didn't mind it, but I get it. Oh dear, I'm playing with a fidget toy because I have problems. Maybe actually I do, but I play with fidget toys. I don't know if you guys know that. Like, I have this, like, spins. I have a pen that turns. So I'm always fidgeting with my hands down here. The only time you see my hands, like, if I raise them, because I'm Italian. Yes, the TV show. Like, you could do a TV show and do seasons and not do what you did with the MTV thing. Yeah, yeah. I think a Kirby and Gale show would rock. I believe that. It's not just about Ghostface. Yeah, I like that a lot. I really do. All right, guys. Well, I think this was a lot of fun. Anything else? Any final thoughts? We'll wrap it up here in like 1 to 3 minutes. Anything else you want to say or ask or whatever, and we'll get out of here. I thought this was a lot of fun. We'll definitely do this again. How would a Scream reboot even work? Yeah. Oh my God. Yeah, I think you have to keep Roger until he can't do it anymore. And you probably got a good 13 years with Roger left, till he's close to 80. On, like, after, like, you see like James Earl Jones, right? And it's like eventually they don't do it. So you don't have that long. You got another decade-ish with him, and then, you gotta call it, and you gotta recast the voice, which, oh boy. Oh boy, oh boy. I don't know. What would be the reason for someone to even don a Ghostface costume without the true? You'd have to oh shoot. Well, you'd have to literally reboot it, right? You'd have to give a new reason why they would be doing it. Otherwise, yeah, it wouldn't make it literally in the lore, it wouldn't make sense. So, the hand that rocks the cradle used an asthma inhaler as well. Awesome 90s thriller. I would say I would watch it, but I think you would all know I'm just lying to you. So I won't say I would watch it. That's cool. Ghostface is almost gonna wear a white robe in the original, but they decided it was too gay. Oh my god. Really? I did not know that. I think a white thing would be cool. Just like a couple scenes. Yeah, like a Criminal Mind. Oh yeah, that'd be rad. I've been advocating for this since Scream 5 was announced, but I think it'd be really cool to get a spinoff about Maureen pre-death. Yes, I remember either it was you or other people that shared that same thought. I remember somebody pitching me that idea before. Maybe it was you. I like that idea. I like that idea. I think that's and I'll say this though, honestly, that's a deep cut. That is a deep cut. You would need like a pretty big actor to play Maureen, just in kind of hope. Because I think a lot of Scream fans would love that and would support it. But as we always talk about, like you really got to get the normies, right? And that is such a deep cut kind of thing that I struggle to believe it would do well. You'd have to have something really cool about it, something kind of different, but some connection to Scream. I guess Maureen would be the connection, but you need like a really big actress to play her. You know what I mean? I don't know, but I do like that idea. I just don't know if it would literally work to the masses. Did I? No, I did not. Maybe I did. I think I saw like a picture. I don't think I saw a video, but I think I know what you're talking about. I did see, for those that don't know, I'm not trying to push this, but if you want to support, of course you can. I think I actually reviewed Totally Killer. It's a members only video. So I think you got to be a member. I have a $2 tier if you become a member. I actually really liked it. I watched Totally Killer. I really liked it. I did a full on review on the channel, but it's a members only video. Sorry, I'm locking off content. I'm becoming one of those people. No, I give plenty of free content, but one or two videos I restrict behind a paywall. But I liked it. I like Totally Killer a lot. I thought it was very like the jokes and stuff. Like I liked it quite a bit. A young Sydney life before Ghostface. Yeah. Yeah. If they make it an anthology, they could have the other movies exist in each movie, like at least the first. Yeah. Yep. I like I mean, again, I love these ideas. It's really on them with how much they want to freaking push, how much do they want to like go all in on Scream? And it doesn't seem like they want to go like all the way. They want to do it mostly. So yeah. No. Okay, be careful with this because I've actually been keeping a closer eye on that Scream video game than anybody else, and I can tell you it seems very fake. Seems very fake. So I wouldn't run with that as a confirmed thing because as of right now, I think that was fake news that was misconstrued to be real. So that would be my thought on that one. I'd be perfectly fine with Roger getting recast. His voice hasn't. Yeah, his voice has been. Now I really like his voice, and I still like it now. But it like the iterations of the voice has absolutely changed. It is just still so iconic. So I don't know. Like if you replaced it, it would take some. It would take some getting used to. It would take some getting used to. Now if they reboot one, I mean, it would be all over. It'd be all over. All right, guys. Well, I want to thank you all for being here. Super appreciate it. Like I said, maybe we'll do this every month. So maybe one in July or something we can do. July. Did I say July? Oh my God. Well, maybe we'll do one in July, but January. We'll do one every month. So we'll try to do one in January. Maybe I can get guests on and whatnot. Obviously, if anything big happens, Scream related, I'll do a video as quickly as I can. Okay. Thank you for being here. This was a lot of fun. I always appreciate, the conversations, and you guys got some good ideas. So thank you. Have a great weekend. And I hope to see you all on the next one.